Alright guys, I'm going to be doing a rundown of the truck today. So it's a 2005 Colorado, single cab, 6.5 foot bed. It was originally 3.5, inline 5 with the 4L60E automatic, 4x4Z71. I actually traded a motorcycle that I had for this truck about a year ago in October of 2017. It was a 1994 Honda Shadow Bobber. It was a 600 or 650, something like that. I listed it on Facebook on a for sale ad that this guy had for this Colorado, and I posted it on there, and he jumped on it. So I made a trip out to Indiana with a trailer, traded off my bike that I had $950 into for this truck. The truck came with a freshly rebuilt 5.3 with a cam and heads, and I'll get into what the engine has. A 4L60E two-wheel drive trans, a 4L60E four-wheel drive trans, and literally this entire truck bed was full of parts, and my buddy's Silverado that we pulled it with was full of parts. So I got all that, straight traded the guy, didn't give him any cash. Truck ran. We actually had to take the rear wheels off to fit it on the trailer because the rear wheels were too wide for the trailer, but traded the guy straight for the truck and all these parts. The engine was leaking out of the front main pretty bad once it got warmed up, so I ended up pulling the engine, the whole drivetrain actually, from the fan all the way back to the drive shaft, back to the rear axle. Pulled the two-wheel drive out of it, pulled the front axle. I cut the CVs off, flush with the inside of the like the bearing, I guess, so I could bolt the bearing back through, so I still have wheel bearings in front. Still got the torsion bar front suspension, so it's actually pretty light suspension, and it makes for a lot of room without having coilovers on it. I mounted the 5.3 in. He already had the adapter brackets for these engine mounts. You just have to trim them a little bit. And I bought a two-wheel drive 4L80E out of a junkyard, and I sold off pretty much all the parts that I got with the truck. Probably made $800 or $900 off of that, and dumped that back into the truck. So I got an 80E out of a junkyard, threw that in. I got a custom drive shaft made by Surge Friction and Clutch out in, I think, Lansing, Illinois, maybe. It still has a stock rear end in it. It came with 373 gears, and it has a posi track. Stock, this truck weighed 3,400 pounds. I'm thinking it's going to be about the same, if not a little bit less. I'd like it to be close to 3,200, but I also have a sound system in here, so that's going to add some extra weight. And it also has aftermarket wheels and tires on it. They're Mickey Thompson's, probably a negative 44 offset. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers that came on the truck. They're a 15 by 12.5 inch wide, or 12 inch wide, sorry, with 31 by 10.5 wide Cooper AT3. The trans I'm getting from a company out in Kankakee. I'm going to pick it up this week sometime. The torque converter I have is from Midwest Converters. It's a 3200 stall. It's spec'd for like 800 wheel horse though, so he told me it's going to be a little tighter, probably a 2800, 2900 flash it's going to have. Single billet disc lockup. I don't plan on drag racing this truck really, so I don't need to lock up under wide open throttle. So it's just a single disc. The engine is a 5.3 out of a Silverado, like I think it was a 1999 Silverado. I couldn't tell if the engine was rebuilt, but I have pictures. I'll throw some pictures up. It looks like it's brand new, the internals. I had the heads off it a couple times and the oil pan off of it, and it looks like it's fresh, like brand new. He said he had it to an engine shop. I don't have paperwork on it though, but the heads are 706s. They look like they've been going through. I'll throw some pictures up. They have like a coating on it. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but they have Brian Tooley Racing, like the honeycomb, the double valve springs, or 600 or 660 lift springs, and push rods, also from Brian Tooley. Intake is a stock truck intake for now with a drive-by cable throttle body. I did have a shaved intake, and I got rid of it because there was a pretty big vacuum leak, and I'm pretty sure it was just because I didn't have the the gasket, the O-ring gaskets on the injectors installed correctly. But I would start it and it would rev up to like almost 6,000 RPM, 4,500 to 6,000 right off a start, and it would come down to about 4,000. But that was the idle, like it wouldn't drop below that. So I ended up going to the junkyard and pulling another stock 5.3 cable driven intake and putting it on. It doesn't look as nice as the shaved one that I did, but it works. So that's what I got now. I still have the throttle body that I had that I cleaned up pretty nice from the shaved intake on. I got the throttle cable out of a 94, 95 Blazer, and also the throttle pedal in here, and it works perfect because this was a drive-by-wire. I have a true 4-inch intake with a cone filter on the end of it. The cam is a Texas Speed Performance 220R cam, 600 lift intake and exhaust, 220 duration intake and exhaust, and 114 LSA. If I would have spec'd the cam, I would have got like a 660 lift with a closer to 230 or 235 duration with probably a 112 LSA or 110 LSA, but it should be a decent turbo cam, which is what the guy was building it for. It's got a pretty smooth idle for a cam, and that's that 114 LSA. It's got a Walbro 450 fuel pump that I installed in the bed. The whole fuel system's good for E85. I'm not going to be running E85 yet, but I will in the future. I'm just using the stock fuel rail for now with flex fuel injectors, stock flex fuel injectors. They flow like 33 or 35 pounds compared to trucks, which flow like 27, and I should be able to decap those, and they flow about 90 pounds, so should be good enough for 600 horse or whatever once I get there. I have all new accessories on it, the whole drive system. I'm tuning with HB tuners. I bought the Pro unit. The main reason I bought that is because I needed to tune my computer for the LS because it's a standalone, and also I needed to tune my stock Colorado computer out for emissions because I still got to get emissions. I'm in Illinois. I'm gonna take it somewhere to get dyno tuned. I'm expecting 300 wheel horse. I'm hoping to get a little bit closer to 350. The exhaust is stock headers. I would have spent more money, but I'm planning on putting a turbo on it. So I'm just running OEM Colorado headers. I actually will probably keep the driver's side one on when I go turbo because it's really tight in between that manifold and the steering column. Like there's maybe an inch of room there. And then just run a log manifold to a turbo, kind of like Matt Happel did with the Colorado build that he did. I want to run a 7875 VS Racing Billet 7875 turbo. I've heard a lot of good things. I don't want to push this truck more than like 6 or like at the very maximum like 800 horse. I'm thinking I'm going to be somewhere around 600 with my fuel pump and E. I'll be happy with that. Like I just want this to be a fun street truck. I'll do another video on my turbo setup that I want and pricing for it. I have it priced out. It's like 1,400 bucks. But before that I want to run AC. I have the bracket on. I have it wired in, but I need to get 2 custom lines made. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it's still gonna cost some money. So, and it's already like October pretty much, so I'm just not gonna worry about it this year. I want to lower the truck about 1.5 inches or 2 inches from where it's at, and I'm planning on getting an 8.8 out of a Explorer or something out of the junkyard and building that with I'm not sure if I'm gonna run like a electronic locker or if I'm just gonna run like a posse in it. I also want to get some 20x12 wheels with Netto 420s and like some gloss black with like I might just go all black wheels. It's kind of all blacked out truck. So I also want to get a set of like street slicks to run if I'm garage racing or if I'm going to the track or something. I want to get that fender repainted. I'm gonna get a bumper. I'm gonna get a roll pan. I want to get a new grill because it's like cracked and it just doesn't look that great. So I'm gonna get a new one of those, and I'm gonna do the bed is like bad, so I'm gonna do my body work on it, Bondo and block it and all that. Then I'm gonna take it somewhere and get painted. Like I was saying, I'll get the trans sometime this week. I'll throw up another video hopefully early next week of me installing that, and after that I'll have a video out of tuning, exhaust, and then ripping around in it. Some other minor things. I'll probably get a video up on the power steering before I'm really ripping around in it. There's a harness that for a LS swap that mounts right in, and I'm probably gonna go to drive-by-wire just because it all communicates with the stock computer, which I still have in here, and it all plugs into where the old powertrain harness plugged in. And then all my gauges work, my AC buttons will work in here, and it'll just be a lot more of a smooth looking and working truck. So I'll probably go E when I do that. Turbo is also down the road, probably next summer. So yeah, that's a truck. Let me know what you guys, if you guys have any questions, or if you have any suggestions of where you want to see this channel go. I'd appreciate any input, and also any feedback on the video so far. So thank you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you around next week.